Okay, I'm Tina Martin. This is Essential Business. You guys are my guinea pigs for this class. So, we have a lot of information. The first segment is mostly beginner, right? And then the second one is a little bit more strategy and stuff. But like I said before, if there's anything else that you want to talk about, spend more time on, gladly do it. We've got plenty of time on here to do so, okay? So let's move on. So this is the agenda right now. The beginner session is the mechanics of how, some strategies, and lots of resources. And then we'll do the Q&A. And then we'll build on that first one with more strategy and review of anybody's back office that they want to. We can go through that and give you some ideas. Or if you know of any blocks that you have to be able to do any of this, we have ways to get around those too. Okay, and then again, Q&A for anything that you want to do. So, mechanics, strategies, and resources. Here we go. So the basic progression is use, share, teach. Okay? So I'm assuming all of us here use the oils.
I have to.
Right? So you're a product of the product. As my dad would say, because he did many, many years as a traveling salesman, you have to believe in your dog food. Is how he would put it, right? So if you don't believe in the product, don't start selling it. But most people that are selling the product or sharing with others and teaching others have had that wow moment with an oil that kicked them off, right? And then you just want to share. Okay? And we'll talk about stalking people later. Let's not do that. So when you're sharing, it can be one-on-ones. It does not have to be a big class. I was super uncomfortable with doing a big class. And so I just invited 2 sets of neighbors my very first class. Because I knew at the end they would give me some feedback as to how I did. And then I could build on that. I knew it was a safe place, right? So you can share with a few people. Make sure it's a comfortable space for them, right? So in a corporate setting, a lot of times what I would do is go to somebody else's office where they were comfortable if I had to give them bad news, instead of having them come to mine where they felt more uncomfortable, right? So find a space that's comfortable for them. It might be Panera's, it might be Starbucks, it might be Dutch Brothers, whatever it is. Find a space that's comfortable for them to have the conversation, okay? Or you can invite many people to hear your story. Now, some of you haven't even thought of what's my story yet, right? Well, we can talk about that in the second part of this too, okay? You're enrolling and empowering others to take control of their health and wellness, right? You're not a salesman. You don't have to be a salesman, saleswoman. You don't have to be. What we're looking for is that you're sharing your experience, okay? Does that make sense? And then teaching others. That's where my background came in, because I would train a lot of the younger engineers. And so I love this part of it. But again, I knew the group, they were smaller groups, and I knew what they needed from me. When I started out in doTERRA, I didn't know what anybody needed from me. That was the first thing I had to figure out is, what do these people want? How am I supposed to give them that wow moment if they won't even let me put it in their hand, right? Or they won't do this or they won't do that. You have to work within their comfort zone. Teach them how to share their story. That would be the next step. Teach them how to enroll and support customers as well as builders, right? We still have customers. Not everybody's going to be a builder. And most builders come about a year, year and a half after they've been using them. Because then they realize they can get their oils paid for. They realize how many people they want to help. And it starts building from there. So then you teach them how to build both their company and their brand, because this is your company. All right, so the sharing mechanics, learn and use. So how you use your oils is all over the YouTube for EssentialPartners. There's plenty of videos. Go check those out. If you don't know how to use your oils, a lot of what we do is use our books, right? When we find some issue, something going on, we'll look them up in our books, and that's also in there as well. You can also contact me after this, but that's not really the subject of this as far as how to use your oils. And it's not necessarily all about how to go fix somebody. You're not here to fix people, okay? Don't worry about that. You're not here to fix people in any way. You're just here to share, okay? So to share, if you have any questions about how to invite or tell your story, we can cover that in this that later section, that intermediate section. And then right now we're looking at teaching and mentoring. And so I'm an introvert, and before any time I would give any kind of talk, professionally or with doTERRA, I would be found in the women's restroom having nosebleeds or throwing up. I'd get that out of my system and then get up on stage, and my voice would still be cracked and just not knowing what to do, right? So with this, what I had to do to get my comfort level up was I went to every class I could, anywhere where I could learn more, but I went to all the free ones, okay? I wasn't into going and paying for somebody to tell me how I can learn more about myself, or I could use this system or that system and pay $50, $100, or $25 a month, etc. My business couldn't handle that. I was just getting started, right? So what you're doing is you're explaining, you're demonstrating, you're guiding, and you're empowering these people. And you can do a lot of research, see a lot of classes for free, okay? And they'll be just as enlightening as the ones that you pay a lot of money for, or hopefully. So the success of a class is usually based on opening up the oils, right? Asking each guest what their goals are. Do they want to just be a customer? Do they want to just do retail? Are they already gung-ho and they just want to start building because they've heard they can get their oils paid for? Wherever they're at in their journey is where you need to meet them. You're going to share part of your story, and then you're going to ask for the business. This is where people usually get tripped up, is you're showing them the kits and you're showing them how much they are, and a lot of people are afraid to even show that. But what you're doing is you're giving them the best opportunity to get the best deal when they enroll, because those kits, the only time you can get those discounts and those deals is when you enroll. So you need to at least present it so that they can then determine where they want to start. Enrolling mechanics. So first thing you got to know is, are they enrolling as a customer, or are they enrolling as a wellness advocate? Okay. So a customer is not able to be an enroller or eligible for earnings. So the biggest difference when you're enrolling someone is the social security number, so that in case they start sharing and in case they start enrolling people, which they can do right off of their own office, wellness advocate, enroll a new advocate and start enrolling, they can't do that if they're a customer. So when they start to do that, it's going to ask you, do you want to upgrade to a wellness advocate? Okay. A wellness advocate can earn, can enroll. If a wellness customer upgrades within 90 days, they stay exactly where they are on your corporate ladder, on your tree, okay? If we're thinking of this as a business, it's where you place them on your front line, second line, third line. Where are they in your business? If they decide to upgrade after 90 days, which I know in some cases here, we have somebody waiting to be able to become a wellness advocate. We've asked her to wait the full 90 days so we can move her under a friend of hers, okay? But at the time, the two of them enrolled, they both just wanted to be customers. And so one couldn't be under the other because they were both customers. But now that one became an advocate, now the other wants to be an advocate. Now we're asking her to wait 90 days, which is now, to move her under the friend. After the 90 days, you can move the sponsor. The enroller stays the same, but the sponsor can be changed. So what's the difference between an enroller and a sponsor? Simple, easiest is the enroller gets the money, okay? The sponsor gets the volume, which we'll talk about in the power of 3. So you can also gain money by putting somebody under somebody else so that they get their volume and they start getting their power of 3. Okay. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. The enroller is really the mentor. They're the ones that should be showing that person what to do, teaching them how to share, teaching them how to use, teaching them how to teach others. Okay. And the sponsor is a placement location within your company. So again, consider keeping them in common groups within the same line. So like I might have my family under one leg, and I have my friends that are out of state in another leg, and then I have my friends that are here on a leg. And you know what I mean? You kind of put them in different groups. If I even have one leg that's all guys, okay? So that they can all bond together. But just think who has common interest, and put those folks in the same group so that they can basically exponentially work through that and find the people that they need. So the strategy for getting started right. Basic duplication. Keep it simple. It's a process, okay? So I loved Excel where I used to work. I was considered like an Excel queen. Before that, it was Lotus. Lotus went by the wayside. I was terribly disappointed. But even as much as I loved Excel in trying to keep up with who I had talked to and how many times I had touched them and how long it had been since I had reached out to them, etc., I haven't touched my Excel spreadsheet in way over a year. Okay. So another thing that I started, even though I love it, right? So I've had other people that'll go and pay 50, 100, 200 bucks for some system that's going to work for them. And they have this, they get this case and they get this binder and it's got all this stuff in it and they've never even opened it up. Okay. Don't go waste your money on these systems unless you know it is built for the way you're built and it's going to work for you. Okay. So even after my Excel sheet went by the wayside, the next thing I did was I put my phone to basically drop all text after 30 days. So then I go to the bottom of my text and see who I'd touched, so that I would at least contact them, say hi, do something almost every 30 days. So that was a way I kept myself in check as well. But ultimately where I'm really at right now is each morning, and I check in with myself at lunch and check in with myself at dinner, is who did I talk oils with today? Who have I continued to help with their business or help understand how to use their oils, and just make sure that I'm touching at least one person a day. It doesn't have to be an enrollment. I'm not enrolling somebody every day, but who have I touched today? So be consistent, be persistent with yourself, okay? We're not stalking people, all right? I don't want you to go and think, I need this now. It's on their time frame, not yours, okay? Be persistent with yourself. Figure out a system that works for you, and there's plenty of them out there that you can go and try and touch so many, whatever your goal is, so many people a day, so many people a week, enroll so many people a month, whatever your goal is. And then we can help you figure out how to get there. So with this, you're earning while you're learning, okay? And we'll talk about fast start bonuses and all those fun things that get you started with a check. The only difference between anybody online or here in this room is you. So why am I going to go enroll with you or you or you or you? It's because you are who you are. And I trust you. I believe in you. I know you're doing the right thing for me, right? So always reinvest in yourself. Okay? Anytime you're reinvesting in yourself, you're upping your value to the process. A successful business looks to measure results, not preparation and organizational time. So when we're looking at how many hours it takes for me to get to the next rank, which we'll see some of those come up, or how many hours it's going to take for me to get to this or that point in the doTERRA process, of getting to whatever rank you're wanting to achieve, I would say those hours are to try and get results. Those hours are actually talking to people. It's not going through emails. It's not prep time for putting together my presentation here or whatever the case might be. It's actual time talking to people and sharing. Does that make sense? So look for the results, not the preparation and organizational time. You can't control the conversation or the outcome, but you can be present. You can be authentic. You can make sure that that person knows they're being heard for whatever issues they have, whatever goals they have, and where they want to go. Okay? Plug into the system. The system that we have is basically the live, share, build, launch. You can get a class in the box for like 25 bucks, okay? That has all of those plus the product guide plus some products to share. Makes it super easy. What you have in front of you is the build, and that's kind of what we're going to go through parts of in this, but basically plug into the system. doTERRA has made it super easy. With this system, it has been revamped basically in the last year and a half, where they took a lot of different groups within doTERRA had their own systems. There's tons of systems out there. And they took the most producing ones, the most that fit with their goals for doTERRA, that fit with their model, and came up with this specifically for all of us to use. Surround yourself with passionate people and you will get to the finish line. Okay? But you have to get started to be able to finish. People that are good at MLM are typically those that have a drive to win. Okay? You're not looking for people that need to be right. You're not looking for people that need to be liked. You're not looking for people that are comfortable where they're at. You're looking for people that have a drive to win. Not to say that those people can't do this business. I would tell you I was probably in the category of wanting to be right. But did my research, did a lot of different classes, and basically ran it my way a couple of times, and that didn't work. So that's why I'm suggesting you use doTERRA's system. So learn to manage your emotions. Oil up, okay? Resources. So what tools do you have available to you to turbocharge your business? First and foremost, the skill of listening. Like I said, authentic, passionate. Be present in the conversations that you're having with people that you're trying to help. Be emotionally available, not just physically. Second is your smile. Researchers have found that a smile boosts your confidence and the confidence that people have in you. Okay? Third is the power of intention. So really dear friend of mine, Norma Barr, has done many, many studies on the brain and how the brain works and how people work and whatnot. But she said the head considers, but the heart commits. So it doesn't really matter what you think. It matters what your gut says, what your heart says. Is that right for me? Then you're going to go do it. Then you're going to go be committed to it. Okay. This is the class in the box that I was explaining. So you see there you have the natural solutions. You have the live, share, build. You have 10 of the doTERRA product guides. You've got 10 of the magazine. You've got 10 wild orange, and you get 10 invitations. Physical little postcard invitations, right? So you get all of that. Easy, easy way to get started. Fast start. So fast starts are paid weekly. And when you enroll somebody, if you as the enroller have 100 PV and loyalty rewards order, then you are commission qualified. And for the first 60 days, you get 20% of their orders. So then this is what we're referring to earlier with the power of 3. And so at each level, if you have 3 people that are LRP, 100 PV, commission qualified, and the volume between the 3 of them and you or anybody else that is on that first level can create that volume, right? To get to 600 for the total. So each of these 4 people in the top here would have to do 150 PV, but there might be other people on your front line contributing to that 600. Okay, and with that, you would have $50 for that month. If that goes down deeper and each of those 3 have 3, that's 250. If each of those 3 have 3, that's 1,500. Okay, so when you're first starting out, Power of 3 and the Fast Start bonuses are where you're going to start seeing some checks. Okay, so when you're first starting out, the first things we're looking at is get our product paid, right? That's one of the easier things to do. The rankings are considered elite to premier is the goal to get your products paid for. If you're investing 3 to 5 hours a week and you're enrolling people, then it's saying you should be able to get to premier in 6 months. I would say that may take a little longer, but it's totally up to you. It's your business, right? The Unilevel is those different rankings, right? So once you get to certain levels, everybody, no matter what level you're at, gets 2% of their level 1. Anybody that is right under you, you get 2% of. If you are the enroller, because the enroller gets the money, right? You get to go down more levels as you go up in rank, okay? But everybody, no matter what your rank, gets paid on that first level at 2%. It's showing there the dynamic compression also. And so if you have somebody within your line that is not commission qualified, it will skip them and make them, as far as payment, move up to the next level. And that's what they're calling dynamic compression. So this is an overall look at the different, just kind of look at the future, right? So you see your Fast Start bonuses down here at the bottom. You see your Power of 3 money coming in, the Unilevel coming in, and the leadership level coming in. So at Elite, it's about $365 a month. At Premier, it's about $939 a month. And at Silver, so you can see each one of those. And what you're seeing under it is to be Premier, you have 2 executives under you. At Silver, you have 3 elites under you, etc. So in these first 2, the Elite and Premier, you're getting your product paid for. Silver, Gold, Platinum, you're supplementing your income. Once you get past that, more than likely you're replacing and even multiplying your current income. We're talking about different ranks. This is the way you go and make rank, right?
Oh my.
So
I've seen that before.
Right? So Miss Nikki Shorts is here, and she's going to be part of our Q&A and part of our second session for the intermediate. But this is her quote, and this is when she and her husband Larry became diamonds. And this is the best part of it. Be patient, build business into life, and embrace flexibility. Your doTERRA account profile. As you're getting started, note that it's in there. Go to your doTERRA, go to account profile. It's simple, it's free. You set up a website. You can link in to a lot of different things, as far as you can tell them whether or not you want to be on a list if somebody's looking for an advocate. You put your contact information, a photo, a short intro, and then you've got your business set up. If you want to do business cards, or put that at the bottom of an email, whatever you want to do with that. But at least you have a place for people to go if they want to buy retail, if they want to learn more, and they can get to know you, right? Because the one and only variable in all this is you. And that's why you got to understand what your story is. Here's some other references. So I love the Modern Essentials book and the Emotions and Essential Oils book. One's for the physical, one's for the emotional. And I have both of those apps, as well as the Spoil Your Pet, on my phone, so that no matter where I'm at, I'm not carrying around the books everywhere, but no matter where I'm at, I can look up something for somebody and give them the right information. doTERRA's official website is a good place to learn about doTERRA. So when somebody says, well, what's the difference between doTERRA and anything else? You'd have an answer. Source to you is great for people to understand the quality. Basically on the bottom of every bottle is a number, and you can look up any of the tests for that particular bottle, that particular batch. It's a great transparency for the people that you're talking to know that they can look up anything about that bottle. Labeling laws don't exactly cover all that. The daily drop, it's a fun way to get a tidbit of information every day. You get a new oil tip every day. So if you wanted to sign up for that, that's free too. Remember, I'm all about the free stuff, man. So the doTERRA product tips blog, I end up going to my doTERRA website, and if I have a question or want to see something or have some images of something that I can post about, I go there and I just do a search for whatever it is. It could be anything from On Guard to, from a product to an issue, and basically, or the science of something, and it'll come up with different blogs. It'll come up with a lot of different places for me to go tap into. Any of these are all linked together. So you have the science and research, has a lot of articles, and then you have the social media. So the Facebook account, the YouTube, the Pinterest are all there. So dream big. You're the chief executive of yourself. All right. Follow your curiosity. Try to steer away from those blocks that you might have as to what you can do with this, because it really is, the sky's the limit. Most MLMs do have a cap. doTERRA does not. So you can make this as big or as small as you want. Dream about what you could do for others. When you have those kinds of things as your goals and your background, it's going to drive you to succeed. The potential is here, so it's whatever you want it to be. So what would make it a success for you? I'm going to ask you these questions. Making enough for your oils, and then we're done. Making enough to pay your rent or mortgage, then I'm good. Making enough to pay off all your credit cards or your debt. Making enough to retire. Making enough to make a difference in the world. Traveling around, sharing with others that way. I told you that you are the only difference, right? So what I would ask you to consider as homework for this session is, what do you believe in that pairs up with what you want your doTERRA business to look like? Take those beliefs and put them together. And this is what I came up with for me. I believe in people and their ability to adapt and their ability to think for themselves and their strength of spirit. I believe in myself and my ability to help others succeed. I believe the doTERRA products I use are essential to my well-being, to having vitality in life, and more importantly, to keeping my family and friends around longer. And I have more beliefs than this, but what matches up with what I can tell somebody I'm all about when I'm looking at helping them share their story, share oils, etc. So this one's more strategy and your business next steps, okay? So rate yourself 1 to 10 in the following. Knowing who you are, knowing how to tell your story, being able to follow up with people 4+ times, because that's what it's going to take generally to get the yes, okay? You are planting seeds, you're not stalking, okay? We're farmers, not hunters, okay? Don't stalk anybody on Facebook. Don't stalk anybody at work. You're planting seeds, okay? But it's going to take 4+ times before that person says, hey, you know that stuff you gave me for my cold? Where can I get some of that? Oh, I got it. When do you have time to talk? Right? And then asking for the business. Rate yourself 1 to 10 as to whether or not you're comfortable going through those kits and talking somebody through what's best for them. Starting your clients off right and promoting what you know. If you rate yourself 1 to 10 in each of those, then we'll kind of know where your blocks are. Okay. So what does your doTERRA business look like? I kind of came up with these as the nonprofit, just wanting to keep the peace. The retailer, that's actually a bank door, an old bank vault door. So we want everything's for the money. Family owned, reaching out to everybody we know and love. And then the corporation, okay? What does your doTERRA business look like? I'll give you a little bit about each. So starting out as a nonprofit, often we're so excited about the opportunity to share with everyone, we give it all away, one sample at a time. Okay. Samples are great to help people understand what the oils can do because they have to have that wow moment. Each one of us has had that. And that's why we are doing what we're doing, to wanting other people to have that wow moment. So for me, when anybody comes to the door, Mike won't allow me to answer it because whatever they're selling, I'll buy. So the same with the samples. When I first started out, I know I bought the 144 little vials, and then I think I bought them a second time, and then I think I borrowed a ton from Nikki, and then I think I did a bunch of other stuff. I even made my own labels for some, etc. And I was just giving away oils left and right. So I had to come up with a rule for myself, which is for each person, I only will give out 3 samples. And it's only $25 or $35 for the first year for a membership. They can get their own membership even if it's the $35 one, right? So the other thing I would do is I would take people's orders and place them under my account, right? Oh, they don't want an account. I don't want to ask them for one, right? I don't want to ask for the business. So I'll just put it on mine. I get the points anyway, right? You're not helping them out. You're not helping them learn. You're not helping them to engage in what's out there for them. You're not helping them earn anything either. They're not getting points because you put it under yours. So to me, yes, that's keeping the peace by not asking, not having that conversation, but you're not helping them and you're not helping you. So with that one, I would typically only do that once. So again, I had to set limits for myself. I would do that once. And I would generally only do that with somebody that I really knew, or knew their situation, that they couldn't at that time and they needed it right then, etc. But consider how much of your time is spent trying to figure out a schedule where you can both meet. The order came in, where are we going to meet? How can I get it to you, etc. Right? So if you never ask for the business and you never talk about the LRP kits, then again, you're not educating them on the value of the products. You're either becoming a supplier by giving them the products off of your account, or they're junkie by giving them little samples, or, there's a lot of different things you can say here. But when you're starting out, a lot of times you're the nonprofit because of your excitement for the product and because you just want to get them in their hands. Just understand that and kind of maybe figure out what works for you. The retailer. So if you have a business that fits well with the oils, I know people that have salons or chiropractic or energy work, etc. Don't just put them on the shelf, okay? Yes, when you are retailing them off of your website that you're going to go create your account for, right? When people go to that and they order retail, you do get 25% of whatever they order. But again, you're not helping them grow. You're not helping them learn. And they're not going to keep ordering unless they learn what these products are all about. Let's see. Family owned. Here is where I think my company personally fits best. So here I decide what's the best way to conduct business and how. So I can find the right business partners. I can tell people how to tell their stories to inspire others, how to have the patience to follow up multiple times in a way that people can connect and understand. And then I do talk to people about when somebody's said yes, stop talking. You might talk them out of it, right? So there is a point at which that you need to be, they've already said yes, they already want to do it, work through it on their pace. Start people off right, educate them when they are ready, and promote what you know. So also with the family owned, you know people at least enough to help with whatever they need, but did you know that the average person meets 800 new people a year? Just think of how many people, how many lives you could touch. They're not going to come knocking on your door. Okay. So in family owned, you give samples when it makes sense. You're engaged from the beginning. You know whether or not they want to be a retail, a wholesale customer, or wellness advocate, right? And you meet people where they are in their journey. Corporation, generally all about the enrollments and what's needed for the company goals. No real education or help or mentorship to help others grow. Meaning you meet people, but you don't really know them or create a real connection. You don't give away anything because that might affect the bottom line. But what I do like about the corporation, and sometimes you'll end up doing the corporation piece, is the formats, the systems, the protocols, the resources, they're all in place, right? So let's use what's good for each. So it's your business, you run it how you see fit, but what I'm going to suggest is sometimes you're a nonprofit, but set limits for yourself. Understand that you have created a lot of work for yourself if you're going to go running oils all around town. Okay. There are times when you need to be a retailer, typically when you have somebody that is very non-committal, maybe someone with limited access to emails or computers or credit. But I have had people that they go and buy a prepaid card to be able to buy their oils because they don't have a credit card. Because everything's done online, right? So some of those people might be retail. And then the systems and resources available from a corporation are invaluable, and they're flexible, especially with the ones that doTERRA has available for us. Account profile, short intro. This is the one I set up for EssentialPartners many, many years ago. Any of you are welcome to use it or adapt it, or definitely come up with your own version. But this is what I put on our website. So this is your back office. If you haven't been there, go there. Okay, it's just on your account. You go into your account and it's going to say back office. You've got a dashboard, you've got your team, business groups, and message center. I typically will go to the dashboard and the team more than anything else. But as you see here, you can get quick reports for the people that you enrolled in the last 3 months, people that have 100 PV in LRP, but they're not getting the product of the month. People that are not on LRP or have a $100 order and no LRP. Those are the people you need to go call and say, hey, I see that you have a $100 order and no LRP. You can be getting points for this. You can start earning up to 30% back in points, which points is $1 per point in oils. You could be getting money. Anybody that hasn't ordered in 3 months or no order in 4 months, etc. So you can go help these people. You can get some reports and make a call, make a text. Hey, I noticed, right? But there you'll see your power of 3. So you got the 50 and the 250, because 600 is the overall volume that you need, right? I got 2 executive legs, so that's a premier. And then you can see what fast start bonuses you have, the primary bonus, which is your Unilevel. So in your back office has a lot of information to help you figure out where you need to look at things, what you need to do. So this has what my organization's made out of, right? So I've got customers and advocates, etc. So you can go to your graphic tree and you can see where everybody's ranked right here. And you can see the overall volume, my personal volume. You can see we got Canadians and US, but this is all in your back office. And then you got your graphic tree, right? So here's my two elites. You can tell by the color. They're yellow. So that's the two elites that make me premier. But I got another leg I'm working on over here that's at executive, not elite. So then we look at these here. You can tell which ones have LRP and which ones have an LRP less than 100 and which ones have an LRP greater than 100. So those circles are the ones that might be builders. My first builder was my parents. Okay. You have to have somewhere to place people. So who would you consider as a business partner that you would go to and say, hey, you're enrolled, you're doing X amount a month. If you would do 125 a month, then I can start placing people under you. And it helps you out, it helps me out. And in the meantime, we'll teach you how to build as well. So who do you want to have as your business partners? This is all still just on the main dashboard with your back office. So it tells me who has a lot of growth, who's my top enrollers, people that are less than 60 days old, which basically, remember, at 60 days, after 60 days, you could become a wellness advocate and move where you're at within that tree over here. Okay. So it's just another way of looking at the information and the people that you have. Because right now, you probably don't have that many people to try and keep track of, but you will. I remember thinking, I'm never going to get to 25 people. But somebody told me at 25, you'll see a difference in the check. And I got there. And then it seems like every 25 people, there's a big difference in the check. I don't know why that is. So then here's another way to look at that power of 3, right? And the fast start. So at retail, again, you get 25%. So if somebody retails a $100 purchase off of your doTERRA website, you get 25. Then you have the fast start bonuses. That's the first 60 days, 20% for the person that's enrolling them. The person above them gets 10, the person above them that gets 5. And again, each level here with the 600 team volume, 50, 250, 1500. Okay. So it's just a different way to look at it than the other graphic. And then this is another way to look at the graphic that had all the colors. These are the different ranks, right? So you start out as a wellness advocate, then you become a manager. Those two, the only difference is what your monthly overall volume is. Your volume is at 100 PV. Your overall volume with your front line is 500 PV. Director, again, the same. Here is the individuals, right? At 100 PV, you are commission qualified, right? This is the team volume. How many legs you have qualified. And as you grow in these ranks, your percentage goes deeper. So at silver, you're getting all 7 levels. And from premier and above, you are in a bonus pool, okay? And you don't need to know all that yet, but it's a goal to aspire to. So some of you have had some enroller changes or sponsor changes, etc. This is the rules that doTERRA has, and you can find these in there as well. If you have somebody that has either had an account inactive for 2 years, and they go, yeah, I had an account sometime, someplace, somewhere. You can always do the live chat or the chat now that's on your, when you go to your doTERRA, has been really helpful. They'll do anything from customer service to product service to helping with questions like this. If you absolutely can't get a hold of me or Nikki, which more than likely we'll be able to get a hold of, get the answers for you as well. But that chat now is quick and easy as well. So at this elite silver and gold, you're supplementing your income, okay? Anywhere from $939 to $4,875 a month. And you're doing 10 to 15 hours a week. You're investing that amount of time. Then you got from elite silver and diamond to where you're replacing your income from the $4,875 to $16,814 a month. And you're investing 15 to 30 hours a week. If this took you 10 years to do versus the 1 to 3 years shown here, would you still want to do it? I can tell you after 20 years, 25 years in construction, 21 years with one company that paid well and had a great retirement plan, this is still better. Because you need to retire debt-free. That's the only way you're actually going to be free to retire. And this becomes residual income. You're still working at it. You're still helping people. But isn't that what you want to do in your retirement anyway? But if you don't make it in 1 to 3 years, don't be disheartened, okay?
It took me 7 years to get to diamond. 7.
Was it worth it?
It's way worth it. I just tell everybody, never quit on a bad day.
I used to have a superintendent that said, I'm going to retire when I have 5 bad days in a row. And he did. He said he usually got up to 2 or 3, but never 5 in a row. But yeah, he finally retired after a long, long time. But anyway, yeah, 1 to 3 years, I think that's aggressive. But 15 to 30 hours a week, I'm just not sure what you would do with all that time, what exactly you're doing for 15 to 30 hours a week. Because I have not found going to different fairs and setting up a tent and having people come around to be very fruitful. I also haven't found, there's a lot of different things I've tried that haven't really had the outcome that actual networking and people and just, like I said, genuine conversation with people really is where this business has come from, because it's not marketing. It's not, I would say whenever I've done a booth anywhere, the people that come around your booth are the other people with booths. Right? Typically hasn't been the people at the event. A few might come by, but when you have kits out there and other things out there available, typically at those events, they don't have that kind of cash or credit on hand to be able to make something happen. It's not necessarily an impulse buy because they haven't had that wow moment yet. So I have, and had more success, taken a bottle of wild orange and gone out to one of the outdoor malls here and said, would you like to try a drop? And then I'd hand them my business card. Or taken these little deep blue packets and stapled them to my business card, and I'd give them to every waiter and waitress that stands on their feet all day, or bank teller, and say, here, put this on the bottoms of your feet at the end of the day, and call me if you need more. So I do still give out samples. I'm just very selective as to where I do it and what I do. Leadership bonuses. So silver and premier get 1%. Silver, gold, and platinum 2%. Diamond, blue, and presidential 1%. So you see here, there's other bonus pools that doTERRA has saved 7% of the global volume. Can you imagine how much that is? And this is how it gets divided out. So continuing to grow, what's that strategy look like? You need to build some emotional resilience, okay? It's easier for people to take you down than to build you up. So you need to grow through it. Take action when you don't feel like it. Protect your self-esteem by treating yourself like an awesome friend. Those voices in your head that when you've had that bad day or somebody said no to you, you need to figure out, I mean, it's not in your head, you're like, oh, what could I have done different? I'd have done that. I didn't wear this. I didn't do that, etc. And you tear yourself down. Make that voice in your head your best friend. The one that tells you everything's going to be okay. The one that tells you, no, you did everything right. They just weren't ready. Okay? Change that voice in your head if you have that one. Don't quit your day job until sustainable income. I did that, but I was ready to quit anyway. I just couldn't handle where I was and the stress that I couldn't make a difference anymore. So I needed to quit.
She had 5 bad days in a row.
Yeah, I had 5 bad days in a row. I think it was more than 5. But, and then I decided I was going to go gangbusters on doTERRA, and for a year and a half, I was going to go and just knock on every door and hand out lots of samples. And that's probably where my 300 samples went, and all that other fun stuff. And honestly, what I learned from that, and like I said, you know, learn from what's going on, was basically, I can't make people ready. They need to be ready. It needs to be on their time frame, not mine. All I can do is one drop at a time. Just keep educating them on it, sharing with them, whatever the case might be, whatever they needed. Oh, I said this already, the network versus marketing, networking versus marketing. MLMs get a bad rap because a few people have abused it. And it's all about them and what they can get out of it and how many people they can get on board. doTERRA isn't like that. We're out to share and help people. So that's what you guys are all doing. You're not out for, as Stacy said, I don't care about the money. I just want to help people. And that's a great attitude to have, but let's help ourselves too, right? When you do sign up those people, let's do it in the right manner so you can grow your business. And that's what we're here for, is to help you understand how to place people in your business and help it grow.
The more money you make, the more people you can help.
Absolutely. Presence, confidence, passionate, authentic, enthusiastic, captivating, comfortable. Those are all words we've used throughout this whole thing. Mastery. So the desire to get better and better at something that matters. Hopefully this matters to you. And hopefully the people around you that you're sharing with matter to you. And that's why you're doing this. So the purpose, yearning to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves. doTERRA is growing leaps and bounds, and there's a reason for that. The quality of the product, the impeccable, what do I want to say? Leadership vision for this company is just fantastic. They're on the right path. They're not all about power. And oddly enough, we expect more from technology than we do from each other. Make sure to find a human connection. We expect our phones to work all the time. We expect them to work within seconds. We expect Zoom and our presentations to work just like that. But we expect other people to fail us. We expect other people not to want what we have to offer. And we have to get that voice out of our head too, because people need this. So what I would suggest as far as growth and reinvestment is 10% reinvested in the business. Like I said, I believe in all the free stuff. So Zoom, TED, Nikki and I are all free. Okay. Don't spend more on processes and systems than your business can afford. So reinvest in your business, reinvest in you, and save for a rainy day. So use your rosemary for focus, your peppermint for energy, your thyme for courage. And do you have any questions?